One of the most underrated things that people don't talk about, at least when it comes to talking heads on videos, are traffic patterns. When you live in a city, a mid-major city to a major city, you have to know the traffic patterns of how the traffic flows. Otherwise, how would you know where you're going to live, especially if you have a commute to work or school or something on a daily basis that is going to require you to be able to navigate around the city. So that's what this video specifically is dedicated to. And there aren't too many of these out there for specific cities, but for Phoenix, this one's going to nail it for you. So you know how traffic flows both inside and out when it comes to navigating around the entire Phoenix area. So we're realtors with Real Broker, and we've been selling real estate for 19 years here in the Scottsdale, Phoenix area. Reach out to us below at the contact information, and we'd be happy to talk to you about anything real estate related or more. Also, if you get a moment, check out our 5-star reviews here on our Google page. So I thought the best thing for this video would be is to give you a visual. I'm a visual learner, and I think most people like to learn visually. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to go over the map of Phoenix and how traffic flows inside and outside when it comes to all the traffic patterns, so you can get around town as quick and as efficient as possible. So here's a map of the greater Phoenix area. Now, it's a very large area. We're talking the 5th largest metropolitan city in the entire United States, and the landmass is incredibly large. This is a very spread out city. So you can see right here, you have all the way up to the north area of the Phoenix with Lake Pleasant up here. And then you have all the way down here, the Southeast Valley, which is the furthest south, and it keeps going by Florence and that Southeast Valley section. But this is the main area of the valley. So we're gonna work with this right now. So I'm gonna start with the employment centers, the major employment centers, because that's what drives a lot of the major traffic patterns here in the Phoenix area. So the number one employment area is going to be downtown Phoenix, which is right in here. Now, right next to it is Sky Harbor Airport, which is a very convenient centralized location of an airport for a major city. But right here is downtown Phoenix. This is a major employment area, okay? And then you have uptown Phoenix, which is also a good size employment area. So I'm going to include downtown Phoenix with uptown Phoenix, that as one major area. And then the second major area is going to be the Scottsdale Air Park area, where the blue dot is actually are, because my office is right here in the Scottsdale Air Park area. Then the third major area we're going to talk about is the Westgate area, where the Cardinal Stadium is, and the Entertainment Westgate District is located over in the Glendale area on the West Valley. So those are going to be our main 3 areas for employment throughout the entire greater Phoenix area. Now I'm going to give you 3 more secondary areas for employment in the Phoenix area also. The first secondary employment area I'm going to give you is Old Town Scottsdale, which is located right down here in South Scottsdale. The second is going to be actually where the TSMC is going in. The Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Corporation is putting a enormous semiconductor plant in North Phoenix, and it's located right up here on the west side of the I-17 in North Phoenix. This is going to be a huge employment center, and this whole corridor heading out to 303 is going to be filled with suppliers and industrial warehouses, and it's going to be a big employment center. Now, another one that's the most up and coming one, I would say, is this area over here, which is the Williamsfield Gateway Airport, located right in this area where the new little 24 state route is located down here. And if I'm going to give you a fourth one, I'm going to go the Ocotillo South Chandler area, which is located right in this area, because that's where the headquarters of Intel are, and a lot of tech companies and semiconductor companies are located in Chandler as well. So here you have the general layout of the major employment centers. Now, the main employment centers being the pink shaded circles, and the secondary employment centers being the orange shaded circles, and we're going to work off those for traffic patterns. So let's talk affordable housing. The most affordable housing is going to be on the West Valley. Now, if we take this I-17 map and we just go straight down here like that, you can almost kind of divide the Phoenix area in the West Valley over here, okay, W4 West, and the East Valley over here, okay? You can see the vanishing pin. I love that aspect of this annotation. So it's vanished, but you saw where I drew it. So you have the West Valley over here, the East Valley over here. And the most affordable housing is going to be on this West Valley area over here, okay? That's where the most affordable housing is going to be. Second to that, you have a lot of affordable housing down here in South Phoenix area. And you're going to be looking for affordable housing in the Southeast Valley down here, and for the south by Florence, because it's on the outskirts of the valley. And even down here, going down towards Maricopa, draw an arrow down here, a little further, you have the town of Maricopa, which has very much so affordable housing compared to the other parts of the valley. Now, the older part of Phoenix, where there's affordable housing, is going to be the Maryville section of West Phoenix, right here, generally speaking, which is going to have the most affordable housing, but it's a lot older. Homes in this area were built in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, and so some of that is not as nice as affordable housing, say, in Florence or Santan Valley in the far southeast valley, where it's newer, but because you're on the outskirts, it's more affordable. So a lot of people when they come to Phoenix are looking for affordable housing. I mean, who wouldn't? So you're looking in the West Valley here, and you're looking in the Southeast Valley down here, or you're looking in the South Phoenix area down here. So that's where people are able to afford the most bang for the buck when it comes to affordable housing, and they're going to have some sort of commute to work on a daily basis. So now we're to the point in the video where we're going to talk actually traffic flow and patterns. So in the morning commute, people will be primarily going on the interstates towards the pink shaded areas and even the orange shaded areas. And then in the afternoon commute, they are moving away from the pink shaded areas, and so on and so forth. Now, did you know that Phoenix actually has HOV lanes? It's awesome because those HOV lanes allow for carpools or electric vehicles to drive during rush hour times in the designated lane on the far left of the interstate. Now, this is common for most major cities. Phoenix is no exception when it comes to that. Now, what are those hours for the HOV lane in Phoenix? In the morning time, it's 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. And in the afternoon time, it's 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. So if you're driving a lot in Phoenix, it may be worth it to consider an electric vehicle because it's going to get you around faster, especially during those rush hour traffic times. So now let's talk traffic patterns. Because a lot of affordable housing is in this West Valley area, and the number one primary employment center is downtown Phoenix, you have a lot of traffic that is heading down the I-17 towards downtown, okay? Now we're talking morning commute here. This is the AM morning commute. And you have a lot of traffic heading eastbound on the 101 over to the Scottsdale Airport. Now you do have some traffic on the I-10 and the 101 obviously going the opposite direction, but the dominant traffic flow is going to be where these red arrows are going, in which you're going to have some sort of potential traffic jam, or you get stuck and traffic is moving very slowly. So you're also going to have a lot of traffic going down the I-10 all the way along here into downtown Phoenix as well. Another main traffic flow in the morning is going to be down the I-60, all the way over to the 10, up the 10, and over into downtown Phoenix. And another traffic flow is going to be down the 202 for everyone who lives in East Mesa, down the 202, and it's going to continue right into downtown Phoenix as well. That is a traffic flow also. Then you also have a major traffic flow that goes up the 101 that might hit Old Town, but a big part of the traffic flow does continue to run all the way up into the Air Park area of Scottsdale. Now, the price in this area by El Mirage can be a little challenging because there's not a huge traffic interstate that flows down to downtown. Now, it looks like there is, but this Route 60 is actually not an interstate that just goes through and has no lights. There are lights going all the way down to 60, all the way to downtown, and it can be very cumbersome and slow. So that can be a challenge. A lot of people, when they come out of Surprise, they'll hit the 101 and they'll either head northbound, but most likely if they're going to downtown, they'll head this way and then turn down the I-10, causing this section of the I-10 to actually get really backed up in the morning heading towards the downtown for the morning commute. You also have more affordable housing in North Phoenix, of course. So people who are bypassing this area, which right now a lot of people are because the TSMC is not up and running yet, and this is a future secondary large employment area, but not quite yet. So people are coming down this I-17 and they're either heading eastbound the 101 over to Scottsdale, or they're heading straight down the I-17 to downtown Phoenix. And as you can imagine, down the 51, a lot of traffic is coming down from the north area here down to downtown. And this is actually a nice little drive because it kind of zigzags and cuts through the area all the way downtown Phoenix, but this can get backed up as well in the morning heading towards downtown Phoenix. Now from the East Valley, which is Mesa, Gilbert, and Chandler, now in the Southeast Valley down here at Queen Creek, Chandler, Gilbert, you do have traffic, and of course that flows this way up the 101 all the way to downtown or into Scottsdale. So there can be some traffic jams right here. So when it comes to traffic jams, it should be no secret because you can see in the map here where probably the most problematic areas are going to be. And it's going to be where these interstates collide, which is going to be in this area right here, and of course this area in here, and then this area right here also. And another place where it gets backed up is right here. Then of course down here by downtown where everything kind of collides, it can get backed up too. So you can see that in this situation, those are the main problematic areas. So if you can avoid these areas for your morning commute, you're going to be loving Phoenix, because at the end of the day, Phoenix is not that bad when it comes to other cities. But if you can go opposite these red arrows in the morning commute, you're going to be sitting pretty. And while I have this colorful map on screen here for you, you're probably asking the question, Kelly, what about these secondary orange bubbles? Well, there is traffic going there clearly, but not to the extent where the traffic pattern is going so much to where there is a traffic jam. For example, in Queen Creek, there can be some traffic jammed up here down by Ellsworth, heading up towards the Williamsfield Airport area. But overall, these are going to be the main areas where the traffic is jammed up. Now, instead of redoing this whole thing and making this video twice as long, I'll save all of us more time and more efficiency, and we'll say that in the afternoon, it's just the opposite. So all these red arrows pointing to where they're going, those deployment centers, in the afternoon commute, those red arrows are going just the opposite ways, away from downtown, away from Scottsdale. So for example, if you live in Scottsdale and you have to work up by the Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company in North Phoenix, you are sitting pretty because you're going opposite traffic the entire way. Or another example, you want to live the more urban lifestyle in downtown or uptown Phoenix, but you work at the Scottsdale Air Park area, you're sitting pretty because you're going against traffic the entire way up to the Scottsdale Air Park. And again, this works for both the morning and afternoon commutes. Or for example, you live in Scottsdale or North Mesa and you work at the Chandler Intel plant and you have to go to South Chandler every day, you're sitting pretty as well because you're going against the traffic flow in the morning, and of course just the opposite for the afternoon commute. So I think by now you have a great representation of traffic flow patterns when it comes to how the greater Phoenix area works. So I'm going to kill my screen now and bring us home on this educational video. So overall, for a large city, Phoenix actually has very good traffic flow. When it comes to the grid system throughout the city and the loop system of the interstates, it makes for traffic actually flowing really, really well. Now, there are times of the year in which traffic does get a little bit worse, and that is when the snowbirds are in town, of course. But overall, Phoenix does a really good job of keeping traffic flowing no matter where you're going, especially when it's outside of those rush hour times. But if you look at the top 10 list of cities right here, but US News did a report here for the top 10 worst traffic cities in America. And as you can see, it goes Chicago, Boston, New York City, Philadelphia, Miami, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Washington, D.C., Houston, and Atlanta. And what's interesting is the top 4 cities that are above Phoenix when it comes to population, as Phoenix is the 5th largest city in America, are all on that list. But Phoenix does not even make the top 10. So kudos to Phoenix for their system of getting people around and not having a bunch of traffic jams. I hope this video was helpful for you to understand the traffic flow in Phoenix and just one more feather in the cap that makes Phoenix a great place to call home. Whether you already live here and want to move to a different area within the Phoenix area, we'd love to help you out. Or maybe you want to relocate from out of state or out of the market into the greater Phoenix area. We would love to have a chance to talk to you about that as well. So call me at 480-660-5974 or find us anywhere else here on the contact information below. And to ensure you don't miss another video, just go ahead and smash that subscribe button and get us out to more people who can benefit from this information. And check us out right here on our playlist of another amazing video about the Phoenix area. Oh, and don't forget, call me